which means G2 get their side selection. So G2 will be playing from blue with Team Secret Wales having that first pick. And the Wales are going to go ahead and ban out both Varus and Pantheon, as G2 this time will be the ones taking Orianna off the table.
Even though Varus did get nerfed, I mean, it's still just, he's the guy.
It's still Varus.
It's that guy. And so they're going to take that one out of the pool. I think Pantheon just globally has risen to power so much. His ability to attack the side lanes, the early skirmishing power that he provides.
The shield.
I'm a little surprised Team Secret wouldn't want to prioritize it themselves. But it seems that they've got something else in mind. It's G2 now that turn their attention to Orianna and Ryze. They're saying, you know what, we don't want to have to deal with these champions. They're very strong. If we can't first pick them, then we don't want anyone to have them. So we're going to be dipping a little deep into the pool. I want to remind everyone at home that Caps is an Anivia enthusiast. And typically he used it as an answer into Ryze. But in the finals, we did see him bring out into an Aurora. And he's no stranger to bringing out some unique picks himself.
All right, the Nico will be the third ban in the first half here from the Wales. This is one of those picks that was also banned out in the previous game. It is so difficult to deal with. It can completely change the landscape of a team fight all on its own. And along with the Orianna, the Nocturne is also going to be banned out here by G2. Okay. But this Akali, this was banned in the first round. First ban, I believe, in the previous game. But this time around, it's left open, and D-Ray is going to lock that in. Blind Akali slammed first pick of the whole draft from Team Secret Wales.
I mean, you can see that Akali is one of the bans that is just most against Team Secret Wales. Teams do not want to give it over to D-Ray. We saw it in game 1. G2 was like, we're not going to give you your Akali. But this time around here in game 2, they've said, you know what? Bring it on. Bring it on up against Caps. We'll see what he's prepared for us. I hope we get to see some cool counter pick. Things like Malzahar can be really miserable for an Akali to play against, the amount of wave clear that you have. But I'd be surprised if Caps chooses to actually bring out a Malzahar of all things. Is he really going to play it safe? Are we going to get something like... We're getting Galio.
Well, I mean, Galio's, he's so good against Akali because you just taunt the Shroud, right? I know I would have also liked to see something more spicy, but when you have the counter right there, it's hard not to just pick it out.
It's understandable. But there is that Nautilus over as well. So two of the champions that we saw banned in game 1, because remember that Ashe immediately suggests Seraphine.
Yes.
Ashe Seraphine seems to be the combo that we've been seeing a lot of so far this year. And so by already locking in a hook champion, I think that you're setting yourself up for success, because into Seraphine, you want something you can engage on quickly. You want the ability to burst her down if you can. And so now they just need to pair it up with a strong AD carry. They do have the Kai'Sa available to them. We know that Eddie is famous for his Kai'Sa. Nautilus Kai'Sa is a very tried and true combo that we've seen multiple times. Not a huge amount of range, though. If they want a little bit more range and a little bit more wombo combo, Misfortune's going to fill that role beautifully.
All right, they'll lock the MF there for Eddie. We'll see how well they can weather the storm against what we're expecting to be that Ashe Seraphine. I feel like these days when you see Ashe locked, like you already said, it means Seraphine is coming. I would be very surprised to see G2 say, nah, we're going to pick something else and let Seraphine get banned in the second half of the draft. But no, we're not going with Seraphine at all. Instead, we're going to switch it up. It's double Freljord bottom lane with the Ashe Braum combo. How are we feeling about this one?
I mean, it's a lot more defensive. Right now, G2 need to find other ways of actually starting the fight off. But into a champion like Nautilus, Braum is just fantastic, right? He is such good anti-engage. The moment you hook in, you're going to get CC'd. The chain CC from an Ashe plus a Braum, it's a scary thing to deal with.
Plus, the Unbreakable is so good against bullet time. You can just block everything Misfortune wants to bring to the party. It's the Braum or Yasuo, the two champions that Ornn and Misfortune just hate to have to play against, because they just say, no, you can't do the thing that you want to do. So I honestly really like this pivot here from G2 when they see the Misfortune to just instantly slam the Braum and say, no, you get to play against the champion you hate playing against the most. It could be a good and frustrating answer into what Team Secret Wales want to do. But second half of the ban's coming through now, as G2 is going to ban out Renekton, targeting one of those most blindable top laners in the game of League of Legends. They'll also take the Trundle off the table, which at least lends me to believe that they want to get something tanky up there in the top side, or potentially in the jungle. They don't want Trundle sapping those stats. Xin Zhao the ban from Team Secret Wales. And Zehen. Both of them. It's the same guy twice.
SkewMond is not known for his Sejuani, but a part of me feels like that it could be coming through now. But I'm also trying to think of other things that Trundle could be good into. I mean, with Jarvan already taken out of the table, Aatrox. Okay, that's more of a SkewMond type of champion. So just a little bit more carry potential. I think Aatrox is a little bit slow to start in the jungle, but once he gets going, I mean, what a monster he can be. Again, though, G2 don't have the easiest way of starting fights off. I will say that Akali, looking at this draft right now, it's hard to play, brother. It is a hard Akali.
It's not great.
I know Akali very well. She's my favorite champion. She's pretty much the only champ that I can play personally in solo queue.
Okay.
And into Galio, Braum, Aatrox, like, you're not a happy camper. You're really not excited about that. Now, this Olaf, it's top lane. I'm expecting it to be top for Pun. We've known him for playing
a couple times.
Yeah, we've seen some unique picks come out from him in the top side of the map, and it looks like that they're just going to do it blind into that top side. The question is, are they expecting this Aatrox to go top, or are they quite happy to play the Olaf blind? Because BrokenBlade, I mean, he has his own fair share of unique picks, and it looks like he's going to go with the Kled response.
Okay, I was really hoping we would get a game like this in this series, knowing that both of these top laners are willing to just pick wacky stuff.
Absolutely.
We're getting the Olaf into the Kled response from BrokenBlade. Both of these champions, they just go in. And if they're doing well in the game, they can go raid boss status and be an absolute terror. If they're doing poorly, it's a food delivery service for an extra 300 gold to whichever carry gets to last hit them. So this could be explosive up there in the top side. I am looking at a lot of pressure on the Hansama this game. The same thing I said last game about how I needed to see Labrov hit good tempered fates, and I think he did. Hansama's going to need some good arrows in this game because, like you said, the G2 engage is not particularly the most explosive. Kled is going to help with it. But the arrow is still the thing that provides the lockdown. Bear trap on a rope is not a powerful engage mechanism.
Well, for Team Secret, we said that they needed to bring G2 into the mud.
Yeah.
And with this type of composition, you've got a lot of skirmishing. You've got a lot of pick potential. You've got a lot of just running at your opponents and starting off a fight. And I'm excited to see if they can pull it off. Olaf, Naafiri, Akali, they love 1v1s, 2v2s, 2v3s. They're all about finding those outplays and opportunities for skill expression. The question is, can they do it against G2, who are no strangers to finding outplays themselves?
And talking about that Naafiri, I think you can get so much value if you're confident and capable in your timing on call of the pack. You can dodge away from the arrows. You can dodge away from the impact of the heroic entrance from the Galio. There's just a lot of high-value things that if you dodge that, now you're in a great spot to run rampant. I love the Brazilian crowd, man. They're so fun. They got the thunder sticks, everything's ready to rock and roll, and I'm ready for this game too.
Yeah, and remember last game we talked a little bit about how Team Secret looking to be the successors of CFO, right? Yeah. We talked about how for this team it's a lot of kind of responsibility falls on their shoulders. Hang on, I'm about to enter a pun.
Yeah, it's a level 1 battle to the death here between the top laners as BrokenBlade flashes away and Pun! With the undertow flash auto, secures the kill, establishes dominance in the 1v1, 1 minute and 10 seconds into the game.
Oh, BrokenBlade thought that with the Ignite he would have the advantage, and he flashed away thinking that the Ignite would finish off the job. And then he thought to himself, hang on a second, I think I need one more auto attack. So it starts off with a positive trade for BrokenBlade. He knows he has the Ignite. He's just hitting away, Pun slowly getting more attack speed, fully stacks the Conqueror, and now things start to go his way. He needs to pick up that Axe. He does just that. The Ignite comes down. And then it's at this point he thinks auto flash away, but the pot is ticking away. He realizes I need one more auto, and the moment he hesitates, that was Pun's window. Axe, flash, auto, boom, gets himself first blood.
Ignite at level 1 only does like 50 damage. It's very hard to rely on it for a kill through a potion, even if that potion's healing is reduced. Beautifully done from Pun to secure that kill there in the solo lane.
Well, it's a kill.
Caps, Mike just gets solo killed by D-Ray, and he lives! He lives with had to have been single-digit HP. Team Secret Wales, 2 minutes into the game, have secured double solo kills. All right, D-Ray, that was a greedy as hell back. I don't know.
I mean, he had to get that back quickly. I mean, the fact that SkewMond, I guess he just sat there and said, I didn't see him walk past the wave. I reckon he's still in this brush. I can't blame him for just wanting to get back to base ASAP, and it's not the end of the world for him. He still gets that first blood. He gets it over Caps as well. A huge confidence boost of him is Flash in the bot lane.
Yeah, now Team Secret Wales is not happy with just the solo lanes. They're looking for some 2v2 dominance as well, and they will force the flashes out of both Hans and Labrov. So now G2, the only flash left on this team, is in the jungle.
Flowers.
Yes.
This mud feeling mighty thick, my friend.
This is a muddy early game, and
yeah.
Team Secret Wales are loving it. This is exactly what we wanted to see.
Absolutely, just skill expression, individual opportunities to outplay your opponents, and they're doing just that. D-Ray getting that level up in mid lane was just the perfect timing for him. He knows that against a Galio in these early skirmishes, Galio could only do so much, and the fact that he was able to hold the wave in a nice spot, get that level up, connects the E upgrade into a kill. I was shocked that he lived. I really thought that tower was going to kill him, but he's got to be feeling pretty good about how that one played out.
G2 still, though, very close in goal to their opponents. Getting that kill back on D-Ray did help keep things from getting further out of control. Up there in the top lane, looking at the matchup between Pun and BrokenBlade, I feel like Kled is one of the most useless champions in the game if he has to play from behind. I know that Azael plays a lot of Kled. He's talked about how difficult it can be to play the champion if you fall behind early. And if Pun can keep up this lane control, this lane dominance, it could be a big problem for G2, who we already discussed do have limited options in terms of how they're going to engage, how they're going to take these fights.
Absolutely. We'll see how things play out as the first dragon is spawning. So look at this vision coverage on the bot side of the map for Team Secret. They are very much focused on having a lot more control around these neutrals this time around. They conceded those first two to G2. They were only really able to contest the third one. This time around, though, they want to change things up. Get that early vision, make sure they can keep track of what SkewMond is up to, make sure that they can be ready to try and contest this objective. And it looks like they're going to do just that. Ping's coming down onto Hizto, expecting him to be on his wolves. Level 6 nearing for both of these junglers. It's that classic 5-minute 30 mark they were waiting for that tick up. And at a very valuable experience point for the junglers.
It looked like D-Ray might have canceled an auto there, and that's why he didn't get the first turret plate. So if so, a little bit of a minor mistake, but should still be able to collect on that shortly thereafter. Tries to get away from the Galio taunt. Cap still finds it, but he's still the one worse for wear as BrokenBlade goes for the bear trap on a rope, pulls Pun back. Undertow misses. Pun still not really afraid of this. Kled does manage to dismount him, so no Scarl means that Kled's significantly weaker and also significantly slower. Both top laners closing in on that level 6. Olaf with Ragnarok is no joke. Hex Flash from BA not going to find an angle to make any plays down here on the bottom side of the map, although you can see Hizto making his way towards this area as well. This Scuttle Crab, this critical third crab is about to spawn. This is the level 6 crab that, at least in North America, we have teams just completely torpedo their entire game over this crab.
Good, sir. You're about to see it right now. Here we go. It looks like the crab is just too far away.
Yep, a Hex Flash coming in from BA. Immediate dredge line onto SkewMond, who, remember, does not have level 6. There's no World Ender available, and D-Ray's coming in for what could be a perfect execution. Caps over the heroic entrance. SkewMond still alive with 100 HP. D-Ray takes him out. Labrov very low. D-Ray tries to go back in, but he's going to 1-for-1 here with the enemy support. Hans is free firing, and Eddie gets a little bit of damage back. Both AD carries at death's door as Caps tries to become an alcove gamer. Winds of War take Hizto very low. Justice Punch is not going to connect onto the enemy jungler. BA's now the one in trouble. He goes for the dredge line to buffer through the taunt as the Winds of War nearly kill Eddie, but close isn't close enough. Labrov is back in the mix, and it's another bloody battle, but Team Secret Wales is 1,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, I think that ended up being a 2-for-1 in favor of Team Secret, and the biggest reason as to why was Hizto getting that level 6 and Akali having a level 6 as well. I love that we are seeing exactly what I want to be seeing from Team Secret. Go for the scraps, go for the fights. They know that their jungler has a level advantage. SkewMond has to flash away quickly. Their health bars are low enough for D-Ray to threaten an assassination. The magic shield, though, is annoying, which means that he can't quite get that kill until now. Secures it, gets stunned up, ends up getting another on the back end. Caps comes really close, but look at Eddie here. He confidently turns his attention, lands auto Q auto to push Hans Sommer back. With the level advantage that he has of 5 versus 4, means that Hans no longer can involve himself in the fight. The TP comes through, but it ends up being a win. Hang on, Misfortune just died.
Yeah, back to live, and we missed a kill.
Why is Labrov here?
Yeah,
what's he doing down there?
Labrov is deep behind enemy lines, killing the enemy AD carry. So, all right, we'll hopefully get a replay of that and see exactly what in the world happened, as you do see BrokenBlade maybe looking for a chance to make something happen in mid lane, trying to play around D-Ray, potentially being too aggressive. Grubs are going to spawn here in about 10 seconds as Caps finds himself trying to use the taunt to get away here, but a beautiful arrow coming in from Hans, and now what could have been a good play, all of a sudden turns around. SkewMond picks up the kill on the enemy mid laner. Yes, Hizto gets one back, but he's going to die here too. G2 get a 2 for 1, and the enemy jungler, oh my, he has to die. There's no way he gets away here. I refuse to believe it. I absolutely refuse to believe it. There is no way in the world he gets away.
He's getting away. He's going to execute.
There's no way.
He's going to execute.
There's the timer.
That's enough time. That's enough. He's done it.
He's called the pack a little bit. No shot. Hizto. I stand corrected. A 1-for-1 at the end of the trade. Hansama now, though, targeted by the depth charge, but a TP comes in to reinforce G2. BA's on the run, but the constant slow from Hans makes it difficult. Nice job from Labrov getting in the way of the dredge line. There's no escape for BA. They give the kill over to Hans, and G2 brings the game back to even.
Where are we starting this replay? Bot lane. Okie dokie. Labrov follows Eddie all the way to his tier 2. He knows that he's on vision. Oh, no. Oh, Eddie. Oh, no. Anyway, we turn our attention back to mid lane. Caps finds himself in a 1 versus 2. The Kled ultimate. Oh, the arrow from Hans. Perfectly placed. D-Ray does not get a chance to move. At least Hizto is able to get a kill back. And you'd think, oh, well, it's a 1 for 2. But BrokenBlade, he's got nothing up. The Fog of War means that his auto attack gets cancelled, and then he doesn't have any skills to find a kill.
Yeah, that was crazy,
It was embarrassing.
Man.
It was awkward and embarrassing. We're going to move past that.
Okay.
As we turn our attention to
Just turn the page.
900 gold lead in the top lane. A 25 CS lead. Akali, 870 gold. Team Secret Wales have their carries. They have the people that we're looking at to run rampant in this game, and it's going to have to be these solo laners that step up to deliver us a game 3 with a tied score.
The two men who got their solo kills before 3 minutes into the game are the ones who have continued to build those leads as the clock marches onward. Meanwhile, for G2, Hans has become the hero of the day here in this second game. 2-0-1 on the Ashe, the clutch arrow to save the play in the mid lane. As now, G2 might have found their mark on the enemy bottom lane. D-Ray escaping some pressure in the mid lane at the same time, dropping the smoke to get away from BrokenBlade and Caps, as they will now also head towards the bottom side of the map. Eddie and BA in some trouble. Eddie's your first target. Obviously, Misfortune's already down, and BA should be easy pickings afterwards. G2, they sent the whole crew, and they got what they came for. 2 kills for nothing. They'll take the gold lead.
I'm going to be honest. BrokenBlade very much a spectator, as Pun is just getting more gold in the top lane. But G2, I think, executing upon their plan nicely. Abandon mid, focus on bot lane, and just put Eddie behind. A very clean dive. Labrov, once the jungle arrives, throws the ultimate out, and the Galio ult is quick to follow. Labrov is going to be the one tanking that tanking the tower. I think so anyway. Does it end up swapping? Oh, it swaps over to SkewMond. My apologies. I thought that initially that ulti from Labrov would get that. Now D-Ray, a little bit low.
Good job sidestepping the winner's bite there.
Yeah, testing the
It's
water.
always funny when Akalis do that.
Yep.
All right, top side. BrokenBlade in a bit of danger here. Look at the farm. That really tells the whole story of the top lane, how it just went to hell in a handbasket straight from level 1. Pun, 102 CS to only the 62 of BrokenBlade, as now Pun will go ahead, continue his retreat. He is almost completely out of mana here on the Olaf, does not want to risk any sort of a fight, and that's the right read because SkewMond is lurking.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in a lane matchup like this, sometimes the best play is to just leave, get out, try and see if you can do stuff elsewhere on the Rift. BrokenBlade playing with fire. Punk's mana is a little low.
Yeah, but here's the Hound's pursuit. They look to burst down BrokenBlade, but he remounts. Hizto needs more damage, and he cannot find it. Has to flash away from the third strike of the Darkened Blade. SkewMond there to reinforce his top laner and guarantee that BrokenBlade doesn't fall further behind.
Yeah, BB, he likes to ride his bicycle, and he will remount at every opportunity. Gets back out of there, cycles his way to safety, especially with the help of SkewMond. Prime, poised, and ready to offer that support. G2 now for the first time in this game, finding a small gold lead. A lot of that being driven by Hansama, but SkewMond doing his fair share of work. And I think he has become one of the most impressive players on G2. Of course, people naturally talk about Caps, the kind of superstar of the roster.
Kind of always, it's a given.
But SkewMond, considering last year was his debut year to the LEC, a hot prospect. He ended up taking Yike's spot. The fact that he's consistently been able to have impact in these games has been nothing but impressive to watch.
Yeah, SkewMond and Caps are kind of, at least when I watch G2 games, they are the engine. They are the ones who make things happen. If SkewMond and Caps are not on the same page, if they're not having a good game, it seems far harder for G2 to find a way to get to the enemy nexus, as SkewMond will secure that second Drake of the game for G2. It's not even 13 minutes on the clock, Vedius. This is a nice early pace for Dragon stacking, and Team Secret Wales is going to have to respond here soon.
I mean, we saw that early vision control from Team Secret. We saw that their game plan was to be ready to contest these objectives, but they've kind of been dragged into fights that have, as time has gone on, not really gone their way. Obviously, the early skirmishes very much in their favor, but that bot dive really swung the momentum.
Okay, Coinbase Gold Grind popping up there, showing us the story of that top lane. And man, it's still looking really good for Pun. But meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, D-Ray could be in some trouble. Smokescreen going to protect him, still takes the damage from the third strike of the Darkened Blade, as Eddie in danger, forced to flash away, but the flash follow from Labrov means that G2's bot lane duo find their target. Another kill goes over. It's a 2,000 individual gold lead for Hans Sama. The name of the game for G2 is Ashe.
Eddie is having a rough one. He has been the target of so many plays. He has been shut down, removed, eliminated, and this Braum pick really working out. Freljord coming up clutch as the TP now committed by Pun.
Okay, there's your Olaf, the full Ragnarok dive onto the Ashe. Ashe stays safe by kiting, but you cannot kite away from an Olaf in ulti. Hans does do some fancy footwork there, being able to vision juke him through the brush. Pun has now lost the Ragnarok, and G2's going in for the counterattack. SkewMond wants to burst down the Fed. Olaf and BrokenBlade falls. Hans Sama's unstoppable. BA dies alongside his top laner, and Eddie and Hizto try to escape back to the tier 1 turret. A game that was so close for so long is now so far in favor of G2.
I mean, you wanted it to be the scene from The Lord of the Rings. You wanted it to be Pun turning to his team and saying, and you have my axe. And it felt like coming into this fight, his axe was going to run rampant. There was no way for Hans Sama to be able to escape. But you know what the clutch play was in that? The exhaust, the spellbook from Labrov. Look at how he drops it onto Pun right at the start of the fight. So CC's not going to get you anywhere, but you can mitigate how much damage this Olaf does, and then you just got to run away from his ulti. If he can't hit you, he can't keep it going. Nice flash from Hans. He creates that space, and then the arrival of the Galio ulti allows G2 to make the turnaround play. They punish, they punish, they punish, and at insult to injury, Hans even gets that kill onto Pun.
Yeah, getting the shutdown on your already fed carry, absolutely huge there. The timing on Hans's flash was also perfect for looking at the rhythm of how he was throwing the undertows, flashing right as the undertow came out, like you said, to drop that 3-second timer, make it so the Ragnarok could not continue. So G2 with a 3,000 gold lead. Hans's individual lead is tied up with the actual G2 team gold lead. And remember, even though this is G2's first time at first stand, they have 217 international games. This is an org that has seen international competition time and time again.
Yeah, I won't mention the fabled year, as many EU casters love to do, but there is a reason for that. Yeah, the organization has definitely been around for a while, and that experience for these players, and especially young players, often proves dividends. But credit to Hans, he played that play very, very well. They hold on to a healthy gold lead. Next Dragon in about 1:25, and that'll be their next major objective. A lot of outer towers still remain on the Rift, so there's a lot of standing gold for both sides. But you can start to see how this scrappy sort of skirmish heavy style comp from Team Secret works when they can find these isolated fights. But when G2 start to group up and they find the 5v5, it's a lot harder to execute upon those individual playmaking power that a lot of this comp does have.
All right, Pun versus BrokenBlade, the next episode. But BrokenBlade, he's still just fine. And honestly, I feel like there's sort of a feeling of relief for BrokenBlade, because when you're a Kled and you're super far behind, you feel like you're telling your team, I'm sorry guys, I won't be able to dive the enemy AD carry. I just don't have the power budget. And they're like, it's okay, the enemy AD carry doesn't exist. He's further behind than you are. So you're kind of just okay with it, right? As long as you don't continue chain dying or something. And honestly, BrokenBlade has still only died the one time. The biggest thing is he's 0 0-1 and 0, so he hasn't been able to participate in any of the kills either. But now they might be able to change that as they immediately find the counterpunch onto Pun. BrokenBlade stays alive for now, tries to escape from Hizto, but the Naafiri makes it a 1-for-1 trade. Problem is, SkewMond's way stronger in this 1v1 afterwards. The arrow flies through. Hizto sidesteps it, gets away for now, does stay alive. Second cast of the Hound's Pursuit, and he wants to re-enter the fight. Immediately rethinks it though, continues his retreat back towards the tier 2 turret. So even though we get a trade of top laners, again, it's the Olaf that's been ahead the entire game, being traded for the Kled that's permanently behind. Caps versus D-Ray here on the top side. Flash into the brush from both. Caps with the Winds of War. Perfect execution from D-Ray. They're both so very low. Caps waiting to see if D-Ray overplays his hand, but it will not happen. So a close fight, but nobody dies. Problem for Team Secret Whales is G2 is looking for Soul Point, and they've already secured it, but the Whales have decided they want to fight. Teleports coming in from everybody. Hansama going to be under pressure. Pun and Hizto have found the enemy carry, and now SkewMond's got to try to do something, but he does not have the World Ender from the previous fight. BA dies to Caps as G2's now found in the taunt. A lot of damage as Hizto takes out SkewMond. Now Team Secret Whales need to find more. Caps falls too. Labrov's going to die next. G2 crashed the car straight into the ditch. It is a disaster with the Dragon fight as Team Secret Whales erase the gold lead.
The double teleport commitment from Team Secret allows them to come in from multiple flanks and pick apart G2. BrokenBlade has found Hizto. He's going to chase him over the wall.
Okay, but it's a 1-2-1 Kled. He just doesn't have the ammo to take him down.
My goodness, Team Secret, they fight back. They do lose the dragon. That is going to hurt them later, but for now, they find a good fight. And Hans, remember, he's got no flash. The ulti connects. He's forced to use the barrier early, but here comes Pun and Hizto. Such an easy pick. The Kled does arrive, but the fight is already scattered. Look at how G2's clumped into this little ball, whereas Team Secret have so many angles with which they can attack from. Eddie's able to survive, the skirmish is going their way, and they pick apart G2 piece by piece. Team Secret with a massive team fight win.
Absolutely huge, but I do like that you mentioned the Dragon going over to G2. That is going to mean a lot as we go forward. One more Dragon means Hextech Soul for the European team.
He's dead.
Which is a massive power spike. BrokenBlade though with a remount. And that's the danger of Kled. He can bait you into very, very dishonest situations with that remount. As you can see, our lane economy snapshot here showing the top side of the map is all Team Secret Whales, but the bottom side is still G2. BrokenBlade wants his kill onto Pun. Bear trap on a rope, and he's caught himself a Viking. Hizto, BA, nobody from Team Secret Whales is around to try to save Pun, and I do believe that BrokenBlade is going to feel pretty good about that one.
While all of this is happening, Caps is solo in the top lane, securing a tower for himself, getting a little bit of gold back into his pocket. And Eddie, he wanted to push out mid-wave, but he's so paranoid, he's so afraid of G2's potential collapse that he just has to stand and watch as Hansama pushes out that wave. A nice idea from Team Secret, threatening that dive on the BrokenBlade. They get that pick, they get a tower, nice swing in gold, but it ends up failing. They can't quite execute, and it's G2 that's back in the driver's seat.
G2 back up to nearly a 2,000 gold lead. 2.5 minutes on the clock until that Hex Soul spawns. Death's Dance purchased now for SkewMond, second item fully completed. It's such a synergistic item with the Aatrox kit since you're a drain tank to begin with. It makes it much more difficult to burst him down and kill him, especially when you look at the enemy team and the most fed player is an Olaf. This Aatrox will be a monster, and I feel like the one fight that we really saw Team Secret Whales find big victory in was because they were managing to get Pun and Hizto on top of Hans as soon as the fight began, and I think it's going to be much harder to do that against G2 in the future.
Well, as long as they can find these nice TP flank wards, they'll definitely have opportunities, but also the time Hansama outplayed Pun was because he had Flash Up, he also had Exhaust on his support.
Yeah.
If those two things don't exist, I'm telling you right now, Pun is not going to be perturbed by anything that you have in your way. He does not care about your CC. But Hizto, it will steal away.
Crab, ooh, flash for flash. BA wants to go for the flash dredge line on SkewMond, but immediately Skew is ready. to respond with a flash of his own. However, that is now a pretty critical summoner spell down on the Aatrox if we do get a team fight here 60 seconds from now.
But so this is a small thing that we're seeing a lot from Team Secret in the mid game specifically, where they're kind of fishing for picks over jungle camps, but they kind of then leave parts of the map exposed, and that's given BrokenBlade an opportunity to actually shove out this top wave. Remember that early on, the CS difference between the two top laners was 30. It had built massively, especially given BrokenBlade lost in the early skirmish, but now he's pretty much closed that gap. He's done a good job of closing the gold lead, and it's just an opportunity with which every time Team Secret commit to this play, the rest of G2 back off, and then they get something else on the map.
1,500 gold separates the teams still, so that has been frozen in time for the last 2 minutes or so. The last time I checked in on it was about at that 2.5-minute mark until what will be Hex Soul for G2 spawns. Now only 15 seconds away as everybody from both sides is preparing for a fight. Pun has gone through the Hex gate. Labrov is your target here at the start. Pun is already Ragnarok. He wants to go in after Han Sama, but they're just going to burst the Olaf down. Bullet time flying in over the top, but it's not hitting anybody of major value. Labrov with the flashback over the wall. Hizto's unstoppable. D-Ray tries to get away, but the Akali is getting focused. SkewMond and BrokenBlade looking for something, but Hans is already down. SkewMond running out of World Ender as Hizto also has to be careful. You can't lose your jungler here. You've got to make sure you maintain dragon control. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on D-Ray. He's going back to the base, but he has the Unleashed TP ready to rejoin. Eddie with the flash for the kill onto SkewMond. G2 is dying again. Remount comes in from BrokenBlade, but he can't hit Eddie here with the bear trap on the rope. The damage comes through. Eddie lives. Team Secret Wales, eat him alive!
They find an ace against G2. The gold lead just doesn't matter to them. And I genuinely thought that Pun had driven way too deep into the backline. He dies so quickly. With the numbers advantage, I'm thinking to myself, oh, G2's just going to clean up this fight, get Soul, and get this game. But Team Secret, and Hizto in particular, finds the targets that they need to, pick apart G2 once more, and win out on the fight. So keep your eyes on Pun. Such a deep commitment. Nice talk from Caps to keep D-Ray out of the fight. Now 5 versus 4. The bullet time pretty good, but Hizto finds his way into the backline thanks to Labrov. That gives him easy access onto Han Sama, and then the fight becomes scattered.
And it's exactly what I was talking about when we loaded into the game, the call of the pack to dodge heroic entrance right after he gets the damage onto the Ashe. When Hans is out of the picture, the painting looks ugly for G2. They've got the wrong colors, the wrong canvas, the wrong landscape, and if Hans isn't there, there's no way it's just a happy accident. This is exactly what you want to see. Unless you're G2, because Caps did not look happy about that one.
There are so many damage threats on the side of Team Secret, and the MF did so much at the back of that. D-Ray now isolated in top lane.
Yep, trying to get away. Nice use of the smoke to dodge the aggro there from G2. And honestly, Vedius, I feel like this is a story of bad starts into good recoveries for both sides. You already mentioned BrokenBlade recovering well from the massive early deficit, but remember that SkewMond was very far ahead of Hizto early on in the game. Now Hizto has a 1,500 gold lead. D-Ray has maintained his lead over Caps, and although Han Sama still has a lead over Eddie, the team fight damage for that last encounter, Eddie hit 8,000 or something ridiculous. The misfortune is still contributing despite being so far behind. So honestly, credit to both sides. They both had some rocky starts in different roles, but they all seem to have recovered pretty well.
I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Flowers. How does Ashe live in this game? Like, it just feels so damn hard.
It's pretty tough.
When I saw this comp initially, I felt like Team Secret had this very scrappy-orientated comp that wanted more skirmishes. But when the fights play out, their whole goal is just full send it onto Hans. And as you highlighted, if they take Hans out, so much of the damage portfolio just disappears. There are so many damage threats. Eddie was so far behind. He's now in a much better spot. Both AD carries, same itemization. The Infinity Edge, Hans was like a couple hundred. He may have even had the gold for it, but he couldn't base because the Dragon was about to start. But now both ADs find themselves on very similar itemization. So Team Secret in a much better spot, with a very solid lead. They still have to be cautious about those dragons. Soul is still only one objective away for G2 to pick up. And if they can get that, I mean, these team fights could look very different. But we'll see as they hold on to control for now.
And it's what I talked about earlier with SkewMond and Caps being the engine of G2, right? You look at Caps, 1, 4, and 8 here on the Galio. It's also, you know, a very tanky Galio build. You've got the Hallowed Radiance. Hold on, we don't have time to talk about Caps anymore because immediately BA and Hizto are looking for an opportunity. Labrov takes a little bit of damage, but you don't want to full commit onto a Braum of all things. So they do force the retreat out of G2, as now it's control over the topside river for Team Secret Wales. Remember, there's no Drake for the next 2 minutes, so all the focus should be around this Baron area.
The biggest thing is just XP. Team Secret lead the charge in that department as they have level 16 on Pun, level 15 on D-Ray. And getting those extra levels in your ultis can be so valuable ahead of any fight. I imagine that Team Secret will continue to hold this level lead once the next dragon spawns. A quick base coming through from D-Ray. Very curious as to what he's going to pick up. Just sitting on that needlessly large rod could go in many different directions. Okay, he's working towards Death Cap Flowers. That's what he is.
Yep.
He said, I just need more AP because I'm a kill Hans. That's
he wants that burst. As long as Hans Sama cannot breathe in the fights, as long as that Ashe is under pressure, you're going to have a good time. As you can see, we've got the exhaust prepared by Labrov on the Braum, so they're looking to try to stop this dive onto Hans Sama. But again, exhaust is a single target ability.
That it is.
Let's count. Vedius, 1 for the Olaf, 2 for the Naafiri, who just hit level 16, 3 for the Akali, that are all going to only be going for you. The exhaust placement is tough.
Absolutely it is. And I'm telling you right now, exhausting an Akali doesn't do you a huge amount. Because if the moment she gets exhausted, she presses W and she just waits.
Yeah, just sit there. All right, sure, time out.
I'll take a breather, and then when it runs out, sure, I'll then come after you. We'll see how things play out, because you can really feel, I think for the first time in this series, G2 really feeling that pressure. Team Secret's top side looking dominant. D-Ray now, level 16. Dragon, 13 seconds away. The timing couldn't be better for him. Level 3 ultis across the board of that top side for Team Secret. If he could get the death cap before the fight, he would be even happier, but I think he's a ways away from it. There's a bit of a skirmish is happening. Yeah, topside, we've got a 1v1 between our mid laners, and Caps is winning it handedly. D-Ray down to about a quarter HP. Now Pun's got to be careful to not get caught by anything else. Enchanted Crystal Arrow misses, goes right to the uprights there, aiming for anybody on Team Secret Wales. As now the 4v4 really starts to break out. TP coming in from both mid laners. Bullet time getting a ton of value though from Eddie, as Pun has to try to get away. Labrov is almost dead, and so is BrokenBlade. D-Ray makes his way into the fight as Hizto jumps back over the wall at the chicken pit. See Darkened Daggers flying out from Hizto as the re-engage comes through from BrokenBlade. Caps gets the kill there with a taunt as D-Ray jumps into the fight, hiding in the smoke now with a heroic entrance. Very much on the edge is D-Ray as G2 tries to get away. Perfect execution going for the kills as Eddie's already found one. SkewMond dies, double kill back over to Misfortune. It's a bloodbath here in this 5v5 battle. It's 2 dead on either side. I'm genuinely shocked that Team Secret was able to make that fight work, because the start of the fight looked horrendous, but Pun was able to get back to base, TP back into the fight with full HP, has the shield on top of it, and they turn it in for a 2-for-2. And I feel like G2 did exactly what I did in that fight, and their eyes were glued to D-Ray, because all I could focus on was, is this Akali about to kill Hans Sama? Because, and D-Ray did it perfectly. It didn't matter if he succeeded or not, but the pressure, the threat that he was able to put over onto Hans and the rest of G2 meant the rest of Team Secret was free to do whatever they wanted. So we look at the start of this fight. Pun gets absolutely melted. A hook onto one of the worst targets. A nice use of the wall from Labrov. You think that this Olaf is out of the fight. Labrov doesn't fall. Hizto's committed very deep. D-Ray's lost half of his HP. This looks like a great start because Hans Sama is full health. But the TP then comes back through from Pun. He rejoins. Oh, we're back in the action. Yeah, we're already back into the fight as Labrov's in the middle of everybody. Loses half HP. D-Ray on the flank looking for an opportunity. Hizto call the pack, dodging away from some of the CC. But now they're bursting down SkewMond. Aatrox is already out of the picture, but it's a 1-for-1 as D-Ray dies. Hans Sama taking the kill, but Hizto finishes off for Braum. BrokenBlade is targeted, flashes away, staying alive for now, but the bullet time over the top nearly kills him. Hans Sama
trying to escape as Caps kills Pun. Hizto wants a little bit more, but G2 is kiting. Another even battle, 2 for 2.
Both these teams have entered the arena and they both leave bloodied and battered. A 2 for 2, 18 kills to 19. This is the type of game that Team Secret were looking for, and they are thriving right now. They do not convert it into a Baron. That is the single saving grace for G2. But Hans Sama, this must be so stressful for him in these fights. As we look back at the start, a hook connects onto Labrov. The damage looks good from Team Secret. Pun is just ripping G2 to shreds. Hans is terrified to approach. Caps and Hans turn their attention onto D-Ray and they take him out, but at the exchange of SkewMond on Hizto on the backline. He gets himself another kill. I don't know how Caps was able to actually get, oh, nice taunt.
Yeah.
Able to just, oh wow, okay, the Winds of War. The Baron now started, here we go.
We're already back, and G2 has the Baron down to half HP. Team Secret Whale trying to stop it.
Hizto.
Baron getting burned very low. It's secured by BrokenBlade of all people, as now a beautiful arrow connects onto BA, but into the back line. Keep your eyes on D-Ray. Hizto tries to jump in. Call the pack keeps him alive for now. He tries to get away, but he's down. D-Ray dies too. G2 get the Baron, and 2 incredible picks. Now it'll be 3. A double kill for SkewMond, and it's now a 5v2. This game balanced on a razor's edge, and it's G2 that finds a winning cut.
For the entirety of this game, it was Team Secret that was faster at pulling off the fight. G2 felt like they were always on the back foot, but G2 were the ones deciding to start off that Baron. They successfully protect their AD carry, they secure the Baron, they secure the fight, and they may be looking to end the game.
The Samurai find the lethal strike, and Team Secret Whales are now left bleeding. The Nexus turrets out of the picture, the Nexus exposed. Eddie just trying to get back to the safety of the fountain, but it will not matter. G2 go up 2-0.
Team Secret came so close so many times. Such a valiant effort with so many fights going their way. But that Baron, I mean, we didn't even get a proper chance to see how that one played out.